Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor by Ziron J. Zhao is next. I love them. Does this book, because this book is also hardback, is this book have a fun hardback? Oh, it's got like a, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it's got like an embossed stamp on it. I'm trying to make, like, you can kind of see it. Um, it's not super fun, but that's fun. When we get to Steel Striker, you will see what I'm talking about when I say I like books that have fun hardbacks when they are hardback. Um, so Zachary Ying, uh, Zach is, I believe he is Chinese. He's either Chinese American or like, um, a first generation immigrant who traveled with his immigrant parents. I think. I do not remember honestly. I just remember the big details, and he ends up. I assume this is the emperor he gets possessed by, he's able to like kick him out of his body, and now he's stuck in his AI thing. And um, they don't do it much in this book, but like it's a noticeable thing. Like if I had to put on a scale of like annoying side characters who think that the protagonist should just know everything by virtue of either being part of the culture or just you should know it because how could you not if you were born into it? This book is in the middle. If Wings of Ebony is the extreme of like hate that, why are you talking to them like this? And Onyeka is like the perfect, she didn't grow up here, so why are you treating her like this? She didn't grow up here, so we're not going to treat her like she should know everything. This book is like in the center because it's like they just keep forgetting that he doesn't know these things, and it's like, all right. um, I don't like the way the book ends, but only because it makes me sad because he was like, he became like a good person, sort of, but then he had to sacrifice himself. At least they stopped the bad guy. That's good. But it made me sad. This book definitely, because I think it's for, this book is for a younger audience, 8 to 12. So for me, an adult, it's not as fun as Iron Widow. But yeah, I think I like Zeron because Zeron is, I believe, Chinese Canadian. So they write books that are about their people, and I think that's important. I think sometimes we all grow up with the default in our heads, and it's important to remember that like your culture matters, Zeron, and my culture matters. Like, yeah, this is a dope cover though. Although, see, there's a dragon head, and then like it goes off of the page. All of the covers of their books are going to form like a dragon, which means that as well as this ending in a cliffhanger, before I even bought it, I knew that there was going to be a second one. And yeah, I can't wait because when I get the last one, whatever it's going to be, I'm going to line them all up so that you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like it. If you have like an 8 to 12 year old, even if you have like a girl, if you have like an 8 to 12-year-old boy, they might like this book. Um, Girls will like it too, but I think the boys might just like it a little bit better because he is a boy. There is a fun female character in it, but the main character isn't a girl. So, um, yeah. Uh, I have Song of Achilles, and I did read it. I didn't end up like finishing it because I just care about my gay children. It's a good book. It's so good to the point where I didn't even have to get all the way to the end to still appreciate the last line of the book and like how beautiful it is. The imagery in this book is really beautiful, but like it takes place during like Achilles is going to die in this book. It takes place during like I think the siege of Troy, something like that. Um I don't I don't care about all of that. I just want my gay children. But this book has some really pretty imagery and I'm keeping it. It's good. Um I'm not speeding through these on purpose, by the way. I just have less to say than I thought I would. Why won't you go back on the shelf where you belong? Hey? Oh, we're fighting. We're fighting. Stop. No. Stop. Got it. Um, I read Castle in the Air. That's the second House Moving Castle book. That one, maybe in this case it's because I'm familiar with the movie. That one felt a lot more childlike, and I really didn't like it, so I didn't end up finishing it. Um, Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. I have apparently been reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson because I also have the Mistborn series. I did finish the first book, and I was the first book of the Mistborn series, and as I was reading Steelheart, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is this just Mistborn but with a different veneer? It's not. This is a different book series. Uh, like not obviously a different book series, but like the plot is not ostensibly the plot is ostensibly the same, but there's more to Mistborn because that book is longer. That book is 500 pages, and this one is around like three something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this book is almost 400 pages, but that's about it. Um, yeah. I also decided to try something differently so that I wasn't just writing down the plot of the book and giving lots and lots of spoilers. I really like Brandon Sanderson's writing. I have The Rhythmatist, which I don't think he's ever going to finish, but like that's fine. Now that I'm reading his other books, it's fine. Um, yeah. I'm looking through my notes now, and I'm gonna see if there's anything that I specifically want to mention. Um, I like the book. I also like that because the book is technically is about superheroes. I like that the book implies that this isn't necessarily a good thing that they're doing by taking out Steelheart, like the biggest baddest superhero in New Chicago, I believe it's pronounced. It's Chicago, but he calls it New Chicago. Um, I like that it's not black or white what they're doing. Kind of like in Mistborn, it's not black or white what they're doing, but at the same time when there is like a dictator and they are a terrible person, how do you decide how do why do they get to decide who gets to live and who gets to die? This is basically the moral conundrum of these books. But then like who are you to decide that they should live or die? Again, like yeah. Also, love a twist. There's a little bit like I was trying to, because the whole thing with Steelheart is they have to figure out how to kill him, and the entire book I was just like, is it gonna be something alloy based? Like, is it is it gonna be poison? Like maybe he's immortal from the outside, but like on the inside he's not. Like I was trying to figure it out the entire time. Love a good twist. Um, yeah. So one of my friends on TikTok the other day said something about like I don't remember what the content of it was, but it was like you would rather read Flowers in the Attic than this, and I commented on it because I was like, hey, I'm reading it for the channel, and they want to know what I think of the book. As with Lolita, there is no tragic aspect to it. Like we're just supposed to deal with it, like it just because the book is about incest, but like it just happens, and then we're just supposed to, I guess, be all right with it. I don't know. And like one of their little siblings does, I believe it's the boy, and like they find out that their mom was like poisoning them, and there's like seven more of these books, and she's one of the authors who, when she died, someone else started writing the book series as well. There's like seven of these books. Like, so you bully your husband. This is about their mother. So you bully your husband into living above beyond his means, never conceiving of what could happen, even though you definitely remember World War II and know about the Depression. Um, you definitely remember World War II and know about the Depression. Your solution as cusping boomer slash silent is to trap your developing children in the attic of your parents' home who disinherited you for whatever reason, and your mom is so paranoid about them trying anything sinful, but this is the only place they can stay. All right? Why they couldn't just pay for like a hotel room for them I have no idea. Maybe because like they felt like the townspeople were going to talk, but like the dad is sickly and doesn't leave the house, so how would he ever find out about the rumors? Especially if the mom doesn't let people her, visit him. I don't know. That just didn't make any sense to me. Um Also, their mom also slept with a blood relative. It was a person that she didn't know, but like their dad was their uncle as well because that was her uncle, and I guess we were just supposed to be okay with it. It's almost like as if it justifies what the siblings do, and it's like, why is there no tragic aspect to this? She also said that the language was flowery. I didn't feel like the language was flowery. I just feel like, why is there no tragic aspect to it? I also don't understand why the brother was so optimistic about what was going on. Like, part of the reason why I say there needs to be tragedy too is because if you think about it, if you take out the gross part, Kathy, the one who's narrating, she has a really tragic story. Like her mother abandoned her in the attic, and then her grandmother, then they tried to poison her, and her mom got remarried and just kind of left them, enjoying her newfound freedom. And it's just like, and her dad died, and then everything changed. And Kathy's got a really tragic story, but like, it's not necessarily painted that way. Just kind of like life happens, and this is what happens when life happens. And it's like, what what are you thinking about? There's really some suspicious stuff that um VC Andrews would like say that made it seem like this was based off of like some real story, either her family or her. And it's just like this and the man who wrote Lolita. What's wrong with you people? Are they like trying to make a statement on society? Like you're not. Because the Tis Pity play that I mentioned when I read Lolita, that book is that play is like a statement on like the sinful nature of things. Like when you commit sins, they're going to drive you mad and you will die is basically how that story ends. Like why is that there's no weight or like gravity to it. Also, just like I hate to say it like this, but if you it like if we've reached the point where like your children are like adults and they're waiting on you because you lied to them, just outright get rid of them. Like it's better than this torture. Like it's all bad, but like she basically tortured her kids and played with their emotions and minds. Um, I also just don't understand her plan. Um, this book was also allowed in schools. Like, not obviously not lately, but this book was also allowed in schools at one point. This book also is boring because it takes place in one room, and that does not make for a good story. Um, yeah, real quick. Hell Followed With Us. That book is really good if you really want to read about gay teenagers in a dystopian world based around Christianity. I do not. It's not that the book is bad. The book is very well written. It's just not for me. I don't care about the plot. So